Alrighty. Hope everyone's doing well. This is my recap for the third week of round 3, week 3, Grand Arena 3v3. You might notice I've got some music on in the background, and that's because I screwed up the audio recording of this. And so I've decided to just put on some lo-fi, because I like lo-fi. I might do this repeatedly, just because I can. I think it just adds something else which would be nice. Let's get a crack-a-lackin'. I'm not cool. This GAC is pretty important. As you can see, I need 32 ELO points to get into Aurodium 1, so that I'm in Kyber for 5v5. I will be in Kyber 5, but that's better than nothing. So I'm against El Baso. 12 million GP, all GLs except for Hondo, Relic 9 Ezra, Reaver, Bane, Balin, Malikos. Pretty hefty account. No profundity, which is nice, but still not many datacrons. So I'm somewhat confident going into this. I might just lower my volume a tad. I think the gain's a little high. Front wall's kind of worrying. The Mon Mothma team is kind of scary because of the datacron. Lord Vader I'm not super worried about. No 6-2 Omicron. Don't really know what I'm going to do against Reaver, especially at that high relics. And then Ahsoka. Should just be able to use the Stranger there. Weird bounty hunters. They don't have the Dengar. Don't have Dengar in there, so don't have the Dengar level 3. Also the Vader one's interesting, but it shouldn't be too difficult. My main, and then the Seer one isn't very difficult either. I scouted this beforehand, and the defense looked like it would be a lot more difficult than this, so they must have changed it for this 3v3, this week of 3v3, which is nice. So I've got a little bit more leeway with good teams. Turn this down slightly. It looks like it's quite loud, so hopefully that's quiet enough. Yeah, Bane vs Lord Vader is a pretty easy one. I'm not really worried here. I think one thing I could change about this is not using a pre-taunt, because using Set here, Set usually dies, and I could make Set tankier, but I don't think that's the issue. I think the fact that he's just getting targeted out the gate and constantly just means it's not very consistent, so a bit of a shame, but still decent banners. What was that, 55? Yeah, 55 plus the 10. I really don't know what I'm going to use for this, because I don't want to throw anything too expensive, but it's whenever a Phoenix ally takes damage, all Phoenix allies gain 30% max health stacking and 30% offense for one turn. And that's really worrying. Also, Chopper taking damage while taunting makes him heal, so I'm kind of thinking, alright, I need an insta-kill, or I need someone who does like a lot of damage. But that's something I'm going to come back to. I'm going to do the counters that I know what I'm going to use first. I don't know if this is too quiet for the music, because it's quite loud in my ears, but I don't know how loud it is in the recording. Maybe I won't have it that low. This is a bit of a learning progress. I should have tested this beforehand, but I just wanted to get this out of the way. I did Stranger versus Ahsoka match 1 of this week, and it went pretty well. I think it was match 1 of this week. Didn't have Ezra. However, I wasn't too worried that Ezra would change much. In all honesty, Stranger is kind of just like killing everyone. Yeah, I click basic there to get the fracture going. And then hopefully I can just get some bleed stacks on and take him out real quick. This should kill, I think? No, wow. However, I've got ult already on Starkiller, and now that I'm unleashed, I'm going to be dealing a lot of damage. So, I mean, Ahsoka's still very tanky, so it's going to take a little bit to get through her, but with Maul taunting and getting some nice assists here, can really start to chip down on Ahsoka, and because they're all assists, she's not going to be counter-attacking, which is nice. And then I got a cheeky little kill there. Unfortunately, not very good banners. I mean, 55's fine, but it is what it is. One thing about this Reaver team that I did actually learn through scouting is that Phoenix went okay against it, which was really weird. And I didn't really expect it either. So just checking speeds, that's incomplete mod set as well. Here, another incomplete mod set, there's 5 speed mods, and like still very quick, but 5 speed mods and 1 health mod, which I just went back and looked at, yeah. So hopefully my plan is, because I don't really know what I'm going to use against Reaver. Reaver is a pretty tough team. If you're not going to use Phoenix against her, then you've got to use something pretty hefty. My other worry was that my Phoenix is relatively low relics. It's Relic 5 Hera, Relic 7 Rex, and Relic 3 Kanan / Chopper / Sabine, whoever I end up using. So against a Relic 8 Reaver, I'm kind of worried. Rex is going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting, and I'm not really sure what, if I can get through that. So, here I'm using Dash on Chewie against Balin, which, if you guys have seen any of the previous videos, typically doesn't go super well. But, I don't know, I wanted to give it a go, see if I can get something to happen. Because I don't really have anything better. I really need a more consistent Balin counter. Hoping that would get a kill, and it didn't. Although Marek doesn't seem like he's dealing as much damage as before. I say until this happens. Reduce a bit of turn meter. I was really hoping that Dash would have his first special up, and he didn't, so I couldn't get the kill there. And I forfeit. So that's already 1 drop. And against this guy, I really didn't want to drop. Because I have full confidence that, like, C Bane just kills Leia, and then I just lose. So from here, I'm feeling a bit defeated, but I push through. Maybe he gets a drop, because a lot of people, as I've said previously, don't like using C Bane on something because they don't know what I've got in the back and whatnot. So I was pretty hopeful that I could make something happen. Solo Malgus, I've heard and seen from a couple of content creators that Solo Malgus beats this Datacron even with Dengar. So I decided to give it a go for myself. I'm really vibing with this lo-fi. This is good stuff. This is just a non-copyright thing I found like literally 20 minutes before I started recording this. Not even 20 minutes. I'll link it in the description if anyone's interested. But yeah, this counter's actually going pretty well. My main worry is Boba here, because Boba actually hits really hard under this Datacron. I didn't target him earlier because I wanted the fear to act as a stun, which it did, and it meant I didn't get hit from him anymore. And now I'm ramping my max health enough that I'm just going to start murdering Zam. She gets a revive with this Datacron, and I haven't popped that yet, so I'm just waiting for my second special to come back up. And then I'll probably just end up doing that again in 3 turns. Every time I use my basic, I'm getting 20% more max health. So here I'm dealing like 180k with the bonk. Oh no, 140k, never mind. I was dealing 160 before, so it must be just a defense thing, I'm not really sure. I don't actually know how his ability works. Not sure what it could be. Maybe maybe Zam reduces max health with the Datacron or something. I don't know. Here I just kind of said fuck it from memory. Oh, here this is me going back and checking my bracket history, and yeah, this was against them. What, 2 weeks before? 2 weeks before. And yeah, they used the exact relics that I've got. Mods may or may not be better, but with a support cron, worked fine. Using a chunky level 3 as well, whereas I don't have that, but I mean, it may or may not matter. Oh no, I did have a chunky. I think I ended up using the turn meter one, just so I can get ahead. And my bad speed mods on Hera and Sabine matter less. Thankfully, that didn't kill Sabine. I was quite worried it would, actually. But I think the support cron does cause issues with the me being constantly death marked. However, it doesn't really matter because I turn meter loop enough. I don't remember exactly. I think it's whenever I get inflicted with a debuff, I get turn meter, so I just get enough debuffs that it doesn't really matter. Someone's come home. One of my housemates. So yeah, this is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm just really hoping that I can turn meter loop Reaver. Like click enough staggers that she's not going to get a turn and I win. Yeah, that's my housemate. Hopefully it's not coming through too loudly. Here I'm trying to get Sabine a turn, because I can't stun Reaver. Luckily I got the stagger in there. Really hoping I can get another stagger in because Reaver's going to turn again soon, and I don't want to get caught out by a unfortunate death mark. I was meant to use the first special before and I forgot, or I just misclicked. I don't remember at the time, but it could have sold the fight if she just like absolutely obliterated Rex, but luckily she didn't. And with 4 stacks of, I mean, I think anything over 3 stacks of Armor Shredder's diminishing returns, but here I'm really worried. So, and I pressed the wrong button, so I was just hoping that this would kill and I wouldn't get an unlucky death, and I didn't. So max banners there. Support cron I just keep raving about because it's really, really strong. I wasn't really sure what I was going to use here that wasn't overkill. Like I still have, I don't think CLS is going to kill it. I mean it might, but I don't think so. So I need to use something stronger than CLS, but weaker than a GL, ideally. I don't think Adrad beats it either, like maybe, but the problem is that they gain max health, they don't like heal, so I don't think that if I used, I don't know, but if I used Adrad's ultimate and gave them healing immunity, I think they'd still get tanky when they get hit. So couldn't use Adrad. Empire I might have been able to, but again, I think that falls under the same problem. Like, the shock isn't going to stop them from healing. I'm just looking at the stats. Pretty fast Rex, pretty average Chopper. Mon Mothma is slow, but she also gets 50 speed from her unique. But then they get 25% turn meter, so that Rex is going very fast. And because I didn't want to use a GL, I didn't want to use I didn't want to use Night Sisters or Queen Amidala. I thought that Sith Empire was the best way to go. Wasn't really sure what Chron I'd use, but I think the support Chron is best just to clear some of the buffs that they get. Get a bit of spells going on my end too, from Rex's shenanigans. And luckily I just have enough damage. Like, I'm dealing a lot here, you know, 125k with the Revan basic on Rex, so that actually wasn't an issue at all, and I'm pretty happy with that. It made it look really easy, but I don't think I could have used anything weaker. And this is where I got real worried. Immediately, I was quite stressed, and looking at the R8 Jabba team, I'm going, shit, I don't think I could beat that, because Great Mothers isn't gonna scratch it while they're at Relic 5. I'm just looking to see what they used where, what other people used where, and what I can use against Balin, because I don't think I've got any cheap Balin counters going on. Don't want to use Queen Amidala, because at this point I'm thinking I want to use Queen Amidala for Jabba, or for JML, but probably not for JML. Give me 2 seconds, I'm just going to make sure my door's closed-ish, so people aren't, like, it's gonna filter the noises and stuff for people speaking out in the corridor. So the Seer team I'm not too worried about, because they don't really have any damage without Malicos. They just kind of sit there. Ben's a little annoying, but not really. Like, he doesn't revive, he doesn't deal that much damage. Rogue One just beats Empire teams, like Empire teams, like not Lord Vader obviously, but Rogue One just wins. Like, they're a really good team. I really like using them. Are they really that good? Probably not, like, all things considered. I was really worried that Vader would get a kill here. And I also should have hit the exposed stacks just before with Adrad. And then Vader gets a kill, so quite irritated there. I'm not worried about losing this, but I am kind of worried. Also, that killed, which is annoying. I was kind of worried that I'd get low banners, so kind of sucks, but is what it is. Here I wasn't really sure what I wanted to use. I wanted to have a look at the back wall first. Good thing is this is a shit 3v3 clones team instead of Echo. I think that is in the third slot. You really want Captain Rex with his Omicron, like the old man Rex, the one that's a Phoenix member. So that's not really that scary. I can probably CLS it. Great Mothers, I kind of want to use Slicker. I don't really know who else I'd use. But I also kind of want to use Slicker on Jabba, because I feel like that's much more consistent than Queen Amidala. So I'm really torn here. Although my only real option for Balin at this point is Jabba. So now I just got to go, well, I've got this many teams. I need to deal with, what, 7 teams. I've got Empire, which probably beats this. I got Empire. I've got Wampa, but I'm probably not going to use Wampa here. I've got Great Mother, Empire, Great Mothers, Quad May, 3 GLs, CLS. That's 7. And then I've got some cleanup stuff. My main worry with using Empire into this was that I had 2 worries. One, that Cal would just mean that I never get to deal any damage to them because of all the protection up. But once I get Shock out, that's less of an issue because Shock acts as buff immunity. Here I can just take out Ben with the Saber Throw, which is nice. The other issue is that I was worried about Sears Omicron making them so unkillable, so tanky that I just lose. Because from what I know, Sears Omicron states that each time an enemy takes a turn before one of them take a turn, they all get 30% bonus stats, like max health, max protection, offense, something like that, something insane. So I was kind of worried that that would all ramp up, but didn't end up being an issue, which is good. Yeah, now I'm really stuck. JML, so Jabba I'm going to probably have to use on Balin. My JML I can either use into Night Sisters or I can use into their JML. I can use my JML anywhere, but I don't really trust it into their Jabba. My JML into Jabba is sketchy enough as it is. So I kind of liked Jabba better for the back wall to use against Great Mothers. So I ended up deciding to use this JML into this Balin comp, which was an absolute cakewalk. They're immune to stun, which is a bit annoying, but Luke's gonna just come along I'm not taking any damage just because I've got a gazillion protection, and then I can just go on, blow up Marek. I didn't realize I couldn't avoid because I couldn't go after Shin rather because Balin was taunting, so Balin just exploded and then Shin goes immediately after that. So I'm gonna quickly look at ships, I believe. Bit of a weird starting lineup for Negotiator, but nothing I can't handle. And then Executrix will be fine. So here I'm going, what random garbage can I use against Maul? What will I have left over? And then it's talking about, well, I've got 4 GL killers, including my 2 GLs, and I've got 4 GL level teams to deal with. Yeah, that's what my main thought was at the time. And then I went, hang on, Rex Clones doesn't need really anything strong. So I can kind of use something particularly strong against this Jabba. And I ended up deciding on First Order. I was pretty confident that this would win. Darkside Ray just makes things a lot more simple. I should just be able to get enough damage out that I can... that Bosch is just gonna... Bosch is just gonna die. Unfortunately, my Slick is only Relic 7, and my Darkside Ray at only Relic 3 is really hindering my damage. So my statement about having plenty of damage is actually not very strong. Especially because then Bosch, just absolutely nukes the fuck out of both my sides. So I'm actually mildly worried here that Bosch is going to run me. I really should have used my AoE there because Cassette was stunned, and stunned enemies can't evade. And so I do that here. I say they can't evade because I was blind, if people hadn't noticed. And then I can come in, hit my ult, and at this point I've got enough siphon stacks that I kind of just win. I really wanted to take out Bosch there, so I used poke, and then I can just swipe enough times that I steal all their mastery and just one tap everyone. So Jarba's really low now, and then I didn't even basic. Poke killed, which is nice. Poke often, I don't know, sometimes it deals less damage, sometimes it deals more than the basic. Basic just hits like a train because it hits twice, which is really nice. I was pretty confident for this one that CLS with a decent cron would go okay. I realized after I clicked on that one that I wanted to use the attacker cron for Queen Amidala, so I used my other turn meter cron because I really wanted a turn meter start there. I'm kind of worried here that Fives is just not going to die, but luckily I got the turn meter removal immediately into Rex, passing 100% turn meter to everyone. But I'm pretty confident here that I can still get through him. Use an AoE to try and kill, and it doesn't, which really worries me. So at this point, I'm actually really scared that I'm gonna die. But Luke gets off his second special, heals up, and then Rex falls like a sack of potatoes, quickly followed by Echo, so not an issue. And then this is a lot more comfortable. The real question is just, do I use Queen Amidala on Great Mothers and Jarba on Jedi Master Luke, or vice versa? Should I use Queen Amidala on Luke and Jarba on Great Mothers? And ended up deciding using Jarba on Great Mothers, which Look, Relic 7 Great Mothers squad, I mean, the Spirit's only Relic 3, but realistically, Great Mothers and Morgan are the scary ones, because if that Doomed gets left on Chrysanthemum too long, he's going to have max health of 4, and even though there's a Relic 4 difference in between Spirit and Chrysanthemum, Spirit is dealing at least 4 damage in one hit. So Chrysanthemum is just going to die. And I was kind of worried there that Great Mother's AoE was going to kill Chrysanthemum. I'm really not confident in Chrysanthemum's ability to survive right now. The other problem is that Bosch is 2 relics lower, which is only, I think, 10% damage, but 10% counts. And these bombs just weren't seeming to, like, that was 9 thermal detonators, and it didn't really do much at all. So at this point I decided, okay, I'm going to really have to get to my ult, which I do. And then I've just got to... I really thought that one would kill as well. 10 thermal detonators. I just need to spam basics on Jarba. I do this one so I can get through. I can put the buff immunity on and get past Taunt and try and chip down Great Mothers while she's just sitting there. But I really want to spam basics and get an insta-kill, either on Great Mothers or on Morgan. Spirit I can't because of Blessed. But here I'm thinking, alright, if I can get enough bombs on Great Mothers, then maybe she'll just explode. She didn't at all, and now Chrysanthemum's super low. He's really losing that max health now, but I've got an ultimate coming in, so I take out Great Mothers because she really rapidly... She's the main damage dealer here. And that heals up Chrysanthemum nicely, although Spirit immediately takes his health back down to near 0. I keep clicking Jarba's first special thinking it gives back protection, and it doesn't. I don't know what it is. Here Morgan's just eating all of my hits. Luckily I get Chrysanthemum's first special up, which gives me a heal. And they don't really have much damage right now. Bosch's basic is unavoidable, so I decided to take out Spirit, who's my main concern from the damage, and I can just spam basics on Jarba now and get the kill on Morgan. However, Chrysanthemum's health health bar is getting really, really little. So I'm worried that Morgan's just going to kill him there. She doesn't, and I get an insta-kill for the win. So it ended up being a full banner battle, which is nice, and it means I can then go and use Queen Amidala here, which is a really easy battle. JML on defense is not very strong unless you have like an okay team. Like Empire doesn't beat it, but like Jedi Knight Luke and like Revan and like Mace can beat this lineup. So yeah, JML's not a very good defensive unit in terms of GLs. Like, he's fine, he's better than average, but that's just because he's a GL. Unfortunately, I forgot about Savior and wasted the Savior on JML, which is kind of funny that JML was the first one to pop. Here I'm really hoping that Queen Amidala can take a turn and get a lot of her protection back, which she does, and then use the basic here. I hope the dice roll kills Hoda, and it does, which is great, and then AoE for the win, because Padawan Obi-Wan hits like an absolute freight train. And then last but not least, I've got Night Sisters to clean up this really shitty Maul team, which I have absolutely no worries about. Unfortunately, Django is taunting, so I get forced into that, but with Doomed, he immediately dies and doesn't revive. Canderous dies because there's a massive relic difference, and then Spirit hits a crit of 180,000 damage and Maul dissipates. So I ended up full clearing, which I was very surprised at, seeing as the back wall didn't give me confidence, seeing 2 GLs there when I first looked. I'm going to speed this up again because ship battles are pretty boring and no one really cares about ships. Also, like, I use the same 2 counters every time. Home one is literally bring in B-Wing, hit Alt, spam your special abilities, and then your whole opponent's team is dead, and if they're not dead, then you probably lose. If you don't win in, like, the next turn. That didn't kill because of a dodge, though, which was really unfortunate, and then he got another dodge. So I lost 2 banners there, which was really annoying, but, like, what can I do? Here I bring Rogue One, even though I really didn't need to, but it just makes me feel a little bit safer. I really don't want to drop here, that would just kind of ruin everything. I also went after Ahsoka first for some reason. I don't know why I didn't go after Anakin, but got some good damage there. They use the Mass Assist, bring in Clone Sergeants, ship as a reinforcement, which is a weird one. So I decided to save banners and just pass turn using the basic. Anakin's under stealth now, and they give him back Undying Loyalty, or Unyielding Loyalty, or Unending Loyalty, or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't ever use this. This just lives on defense. Here I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try and go for Umbaran while there's no taunt. Immediately a taunt gets sent into play. But here I just hit Alt and win. No Marauder is an interesting choice, especially for an account that's 12 million GP, but that's okay. While they've got the Stranded debuff, they can't heal or recover protection, so BLT Y-Wing, Big Bacon Lettuce Tomato, I know it's BTL, but just falls over. I cleanse the healing immunity with my first special on Profundity off of Y-Wing, and I'm all set. So I ended up full clearing with a decent score, especially for the fact that I didn't I got one drop, so I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, this is what I'm listening to at the moment. I'll put it in the description. They didn't end up attacking, which was really weird for week 3. These are all my battles. So, yeah. Oh, they did end up attacking, and they lost. Oh, cool. Cool. I didn't even check that. Righto. So they dropped on my layer and decided that they couldn't beat me. So I got a nice cheeky win there, and I'm now... Oh, it hasn't updated. Great. I'm in Kyber 5. I got promoted to Aurodium 1, and I'm now in Kyber 5. So back in Kyber for 5v5, which is exciting. Later tonight, I'm going to be getting the Leviathan, which is even more exciting. So I'll make a video on me unlocking that later. And that will probably come out sometime over the weekend when I've got some time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Pretty good one to end off the GAC 3v3 season. I'm not a huge fan of 3v3, but you know, kind of just got to deal with it. And I'll see you guys for 5v5, I guess. There'll be a Leviathan video soon, but yeah, I'll see you guys for 5v5. Peace!